Here you go. This is our listing presentation to start. It is actually, this is the PDF copy of our digital version, right? When COVID broke, we went digital and we upgraded our digital version. So we actually do our digital version in a flip book. So it actually feels like we send the link to the client with all of the information, and then they open it up and they flip through it. This is the PDF version of that, okay? This is my latest listing that I took. Now let me show you a physical book, because we actually do a physical book as well. Here's my physical book right here. It's logoed, embossed, and very nice, right? Upgraded and glossy paper. Looks really great for the client. This is the opening page. This is what it looks like. Fantastic piece of artwork, to be honest. And my team put this together. I just told them what I wanted. So building your legacy in your real estate move. I'm all about legacy. I'm all about moving things forward and holding real estate, to be completely honest. So when I have a conversation with a person, I do pre-qualify them and see, hey, like maybe you should keep your real estate. And that might sound unusual to you all because you're like, well, you're going on a listing appointment. Yeah, I'm going to make sure it's the best move for them. I'm going to help them do what's best for them. And because I've been doing this for so long, which I came in right before the first crash. So I've been in business for about 14 years now. All my clients are return clients over and over and over again, just over and over and over again, right? So moving on to the important stuff. We have a table of contents right here, right? Welcome, meet the team, team vision, safety measures. What I tell my clients is they're looking at this and they go down this. I go, this is like your checklist. This makes it so easy on you to be like, what's happening next? You just go right down this and you go, okay, Lori did this, Lori did that, Lori did this. Because, hey, here's the reality of it. Real estate is one thing that they don't do a lot generally. And you want to make sure you ask that question up front. Have you had previous experience with buying and selling and investing in real estate? You want to know where their mindset and their energy is in that. So you want to make sure you have that conversation again in your pre-consultation before you show up for the appointment. And we always have a conversation before we show up for the appointment. The majority of my appointments, just to step back and say, is in person, of course, with a mask, COVID safe, right? I've done a couple on Zoom. I don't like them. I like to be in person. The last one I did on Zoom because I was in Cabo. So I had no choice, but AIM was physically there for me, right? So these are what they will find in the book. Meet the team, our team vision, safety measures, pre-marketing, on the market. Congrats, you're sold. Why choose us? Market value, client testimonials, your to-do checklist, questions to ask if you're thinking about hiring someone else, which they never do when they call me, property feature worksheet, and then of course, real estate myths. And then we end with the comparative market analysis. Through each one of those sections, I continuously just say, hey, by the way, did I do everything that you need to get your house sold? They will say yes, say fantastic. Would you like to get into pricing? Are you ready to sign the contract? I continuously ask them through the presentation. I'm testing them to see when they're ready to sign. I don't want to talk myself out of a job because believe me, I've done it in the past and I know I can do it. You want to make sure you're following the client and asking lots and lots of questions while presenting what they're looking for, right? So we call all of our clients family. They're our real estate family. We're a family team. And so that's how we refer to our clients. They're the real estate family. And we keep them and we share with them and we do lots of things for them. We have a photo shoot coming up. So right here, you're going to see, this is the opening letter. This is really a beautiful presentation, right? Opening letter just tells them everything that we're doing and who I am and how I'm here to serve them, right? Then we go into meet the team. Here, as you see, is my sister and I, right? Here's another beautiful picture of me, right? And who we are, what we do. We have some beautiful quotes in there so that they know who we are. We have it hyperlinked. Again, this is digital for them. So it's hyperlinked so they can go to our YouTube page and check out our videos. That's where I have lots of informational videos, training videos, and live tours of all our properties, right? We have a ton of information there. We also do a video podcast as well as a standard podcast. Nathan Alvarez is my director of operations, also a licensed realtor, right? Amy is my lead buyer's agent, and she's my realtor. Hasina is our newest addition to the team in the last year. She's been with us, and she's a buyer's agent and a realtor. And then Kathy is our transaction coordinator. She's virtual. And I always make them laugh right here. And I'll just say, hey, she's got the same awesome last name as I, and she's not related. And they always giggle. It gives a little break. They're like, oh, this person has energy. She's just a regular old person. Because I really want them to know, like, I'm with them. And in that, I am sitting next to them in the presentation. I am never across the table, never across the table. I'm sitting next to them. Of course, I make sure that I'm socially distant and they're comfortable. Okay. It's not big enough. I think it's plenty big enough. There's Nolan. Nolan's one of our social media managers and administrative assistants. And then we get into the team vision, right? Here's the team vision, right? Huh?
It's too big.
He thinks it's too big?
Yeah.
You guys think the PDF, you want it right here? How's that look? Better? Yes? That look good? All right, there you go. Excellent. Team vision, to be recognized as the realtor of choice by providing real estate services. My mission statement here is to exceed their expectations. Anyone can meet your expectations. We don't want to meet expectations. We want to exceed. How do you exceed expectations? You share with them. Look, real estate is tough. Real estate is something that you're probably not used to doing, and it's unknown. So guess what? We end every conversation with when you're going to hear from us next and what's happening next. Best thing you can do for a client, honor that and tell them, this is what's happening next. When you share that information, whew, all the uncertainty, all of the stress falls off them. Truly, truly does, guys. So you want to make sure you do that. So our goal this year is to help 111 families. That's what we want to do. We want to help them make that move. We share our goal with everyone. We go, here we go. This is what we're doing. This is what we're striving for, right? We want them to know, like, we're here in business. We're serious. We don't do 1 or 2 transactions. We are here for the long term. Then we go into the Lori Alvarez legacy. We talk about legacy. And of course, I touch on this lightly. They need to know who I am and how successful I am and how strong an agent they're hiring. But I don't spend a ton of time here because this is not about me. This is about them. This is about what they want to accomplish, right? So you need to share. And I will tell you, in the beginning, this was one of my biggest challenges because I believe, like, oh, I need to be humble. I need to be like, not over the top. Now I'm confident. This is what we've done. These are the awards that I have. I'm affiliated with everyone you need me to be affiliated with, right? And then we get into our philosophy. What are we going to do? How are we going to help you? And we honor the KW model and the values that KW has. We're in it for a win-win. We're in it to service communities. We show them where we service. We tell them all about me. And again, we've got another little link to our testimonials because on Yelp, I built my Yelp reviews. So I pick up listings from Yelp. This one right here that I'm presenting to you was a Yelp lead. She called me. She said, I'm interviewing 2 agents. I'd like you to come in because I love your reviews on Yelp. I always ask for reviews. Always ask for reviews when you're done during the transaction. Done, finished, during. Always ask for the review. Just ask them, hey, how am I doing? If you don't mind posting a great review, if I'm not meeting your expectations, I want to know now. I don't want to know when we're finished. I want you to be happy all throughout the transaction, right? So we do have that information available to them. Then we go, look, it's COVID. We got rules and regs right now. We get into the COVID rules and regs. It's a picture of myself and Hasina, our other buyer's agent, out on location at one of our properties. We're just showing them visually what the rules and regs are. And we have this hyperlinked to a video because I have done a couple videos on YouTube about what the rules and regs are, right? And then we go virtually. These are the things that we can do for you, will do for you. And then sanitation, what needs to happen so that we keep you COVID safe and we honor the rules and regs of what the Department of Real Estate is requiring of us right now. So they appreciate that. They want to know that. We added that immediately. As soon as COVID hit, we put that in and said, boom, we got to add this. They need to know what's going on. So if you have your listing presentation, get that added if you haven't added it yet. You want to make sure that gets added in, right? Just pictures of what it looks like. And then here's the video of actually our mandates that we share on social media. So going into our pre-marketing right here, right? This is the pre-marketing aspect of what we do. Pre-marketing, we offer them a complimentary staging consultation. Why? Guess what? It's $450. I pay for it. They got to sign a contract in order for me to offer that. And I found that it's a win-win for my clients. That's just all there is to it. Like their house looks better. It sells for more, which means I make more, and so do they. How can that not go wrong? It's $450. Generally, everyone says, yes, sign me up. I'll sign the contract right now. Okay. There's like maybe 1% that are like, no, not interested. Don't want to do that. Great. Then we offer you a complimentary home inspection, right? And those ones are probably the people that have a house that's kind of like conditions questionable anyways. And it costs the same thing for the home inspection. It's actually a little less for my home inspector because I've been working with him for so long. So, you know, we offer that because we want a pre-list home inspection. I want to know what the condition is. If they've been in their house for 20 years, I want to know that they got a plumbing problem or they got an electrical problem that they're probably completely unaware of. Takes kind of that scariness for when the buyer comes and does their home inspection away, because we're like, we already know we had a home inspection. This is what's happened, right? And then we can compare the 2 home inspections. And the reality is we've now transferred risk from our client to the home inspector. Fantastic. It's a win-win. So we do offer that when we go through this. They can have one or the other. Sometimes I get a couple people who want them both, right? Again, we just top again. We're the #1 company, KW company. This is important, right? Because you guys right here that are on here, I'm sitting there selling my Keller Williams team behind me. It's not just my personal team, right? This is my entire team, the company. When you walk in and say, I'm with the #1 company in agent count, and guess what? We had 40 offers presented, and what, 15 of those were Keller Williams agents. Bam, that says a lot, guys. So you've made the right choice by signing up with Keller Williams, right? Then we go into sign installation. We're going to put the sign in your front yard. right? And then they go, oh, I don't want to sign. Of course you do. Why don't you want to sign? You ask that question, right? Create a buyer list. I believe in buyers. I have buyers agents. So my buyers are working hard to figure out who is a good fit for this new listing. And I share that with them, right? We've got buyers waiting to purchase your house, right? We share all the social media. Everyone wants you on social media. So I'm on TikTok. I just started TikTok too. So I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I'm on everything, Instagram. We're on it all because I have a social media team that does all of that. They want to know that. Even if they don't do social media, they still think you should be doing social media, right? And then we ask them to give us exactly in writing via email or text, what did you do to your house to upgrade it? What do you want highlighted in your description? I even say to them, hey, by the way, like, I'm totally cool with you correcting anything I put in your description because I want it to be exactly what you want. I'm just going to make sure it's compliant to the rules and regs of the Department of Real Estate and Fair Housing, right? So you want to make sure this is about them. It's not about us. I'm very branded though. If you look at all of my descriptions in the MLS, they start with the same words and end with the same words so that the world knows, oh, it's another Lori's listing. Everyone says, oh, that's Lori. She always says that. Make us an offer we can't refuse, right? It definitely tells you, don't give me an offer under list price because I'm going to refuse it, right? It's the truth. So we do our photo shoot, of course, and we price to sell. And I add that I know my stats. I'm 97% accurate when it comes to listing your house and making a suggestion on your price. Why is that important to you? Well, first and foremost, no one's 100%. And if they think they're perfect, you probably shouldn't work with them. And secondly, you know that I watch my numbers and I know when I list a house and then when I sell the house that I'm 97% right, which means you're going to get more money. That's a win for you, right? So you guys know your numbers. Ask your team leader, how do I figure out what my listing ratios are, my listing percentages? They'll tell you, they'll help you. My team leader did. So then I go, congrats, you're on the market. Here's the marketing plan. And we show them our sign. Look, here's a picture of me in front of the sign. Woohoo, so exciting. Real life right there for them so that they know what they're getting into. They know what's going to show up in their front yard. A lot of times they'll be like, oh, wait, I don't want a sign. Well, why is that important to you? Well, because the neighbor next door is crazy. Yeah, okay, maybe I don't want the sign in the front yard too, right? Just ask the questions, figure it out, and then overcome and confirm and figure out what's best for the situation. So great news, we're on the MLS, right? Great news, you're open for showings. Great news, we're talking to all our locals to make sure we're letting, like, I love all the agents that I work with, and I'm like, okay, I want them to know about our great property. So we'll notify them as well. And then of course we reach out to our database because we have buyers and we have sellers who are very interested in moving, right? So we share with them, we reach out to our database, and right there, that's our database count number. We've got about 2,000 people in our database, right? And then of course they get a personal website, and then we tell them all about all of the other website, social media stuff that we do. And guess what? We're marketing your house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Is that important to you? Well, of course it is, Lori. Fantastic. Are we ready to go ahead and move on to signing the contract? You bet, Lori. Excellent. Sign right here, right? So, hey, I have this piece of paper. I have this piece of paper right here with this lovely little clipboard. I walk in to my listing presentation, give them the book. I have my clipboard and I say to them, oh my goodness, I'm going to take notes while you're talking with me, because guess what? These silver streaks are real and I don't remember everything. And then they laugh and they go, ha, 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 and they feel good. It's the truth. It works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me, right? So this gives me something to work with. Now, why is this important? Well, guess what? My team needs to know, what the heck are we doing? So it says, what's your name? Then it says, what's your phone number? I'm just confirming everything again, right? What's your emails? I'm making sure it's all accurate. Is there a different mailing address? Your database is worth it, guys. So you need to put this stuff in your database, right? And I put are you on social media? Then you know right away whether or not they're on social media. Great. What's your Instagram handle? What's your Facebook name? I find all my clients on all social media. It's the priority. And then I'll say, when do you want the for sale sign to go up? Right? It's a test. Like, when do you want it to go up? Okay, we're going to do photo shoot and time right, and then staging, and then pre-marketing, and then the date that it goes on the market, and then the date of your grand opening, open house when they're applicable, right? And oh, by the way, do you need extra handyman services? Is there any extra work that still needs to be done? And then where do you want the escrow instructions sent? And are you okay with DocuSign? Do you understand it? And what's the best time to have a telephone conversation, or do you prefer text or email? Look, guys, I ask all those questions because I want to communicate like they want to communicate. I want to share with them like they want to be shared. I mean, it's obvious I love to talk. So I'm going to want to pick up the phone and have a conversation with them all the time. Some people don't like that, especially younger generation. All they want to do is text. So you do what you need to do. I sold one house and they wanted to just talk through Facebook Messenger the entire time on my business page. That drove me crazy, right? So we also do digital and print, and then we pre-qualify all prospective buyers. I'll be really honest. You don't go in our property if you're not pre-approved or you don't have the ability to pay for it.
Can I ask a question?
Please do.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. What you were mentioning about how like everyone has different personalities, do you have like a tactic of how you figure it out other than just talking to them, or is that your best way?
Yeah. So when you show up, you see how interested they are in the listing book, right? You give it to them. If they open it and they're looking at it very closely, of course, they're gonna be analytical, right? To be completely honest, I can feel a person's energy as soon as I walk in the room. They're either really subdued and kind of back, right? Or they're either really energetic and with you. So you can feel that if you pay attention to them and take the focus off of you.
That's true. I like that.
And that's truly what I do. Like if their energy is really low and they're not talking, then I bring my energy down, but I'm still confident in that energy. Does that make sense?
Match their energy. That's awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah. Great question. Thank you for asking. And again, stop me anytime. I'm a workhorse. I'm just going to go through this. Okay. So stop me anytime. And then we tell them a little bit about, hey, we highlight you as well in luxury, and we highlight you in Homes and Land because we're big fans of Homes and Land magazine, especially out where you guys are. That's really popular. And to be completely honest, I get leads through that all the time. People do inquire, and Homes and Land does a great job of putting up a digital plan and a print plan. Right? So my clients love it. They love that their home is in a magazine, right? And we go over all of this, and then we show them our virtual tours, right? Here's a link to our virtual tours. And here's what your Homes and Land magazine ad looks like. It's consistently the same thing every month with new properties. I take an entire page. It looks just like my sign. I'm very branded. Everything looks the same. Use the same words, use the same language so that when people hear it, they go, oh, that's another Lori's listing. Oh, that's Lori Alvarez, right? Then we go into congrats, you're sold. Woohoo! What do we do next? We open escrow. We ensure the standards are met. We complete the necessary inspections. We get appraised, right? We arrange the timelines. We go through disclosures. We receive the escrow package. I'll negotiate repairs for you. They always have questions and repairs. So I always go over that with them and I let them know what the California requirements are to sell a house. Then we go over contingencies. Let me tell you guys, I promise you, you write an offer and get it accepted on one of my listings. It is standard for me to send out a notice to perform. I'm not being rude. I'm not being mean. I'm doing my job. I'm securing the transaction. So you will get your notice to perform and you will either request an extension or remove your contingency. That's it. I want to secure the transaction for all of us. And you should want one too. You as a buyer's agent should be like, oh, I better take this to my buyer and say, are you happy? Are all your conditions satisfied so that we can move on to the next step? I believe in getting contingencies removed when everyone is fully satisfied. So do the hard work, knock it out, hit your timelines, make it happen. And I explain that to my sellers and they love it. They understand what that means. Because let me tell you, I don't want to get to the end of a transaction and be like, the buyer's agent's like, whoop, I'm out of here. And so is the buyer. And my seller said, what have you been doing for the last 30 days? I ain't going to have that happen. Right? So you guys got to make sure you explain the contract, the escrow, the purpose, all of it. Right? We go over a final review. You'll remind them there's a walkthrough right before. Then they fund, they record, and they get paid, money in the bank, right? Guys, when you go through this step by step by step, they feel confident that you know what you're doing. They feel informed and they feel like they need you because they're overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, there is so much. I literally say to them, do you realize that there's like 31 state required disclosures? Wait, I'm sorry, because of COVID, there's like another 10. So it's like 41 or something, right? You want to share this stuff so that they understand that they need you, that you're partnering together. And then we say, why do you choose us? Well, we put more money in your pocket. And we talk about our past performance and what we've done and the referrals, and our clients come over and over again. And when it's a Yelp lead, I literally say to them, you know, I don't get a lot of these, so I'm excited to work with you. Thank you so much for choosing us because you liked what our Yelp page said. I really appreciate that. And I point out that I have bad reviews on my Yelp page, and I go, you know what? No one's perfect. Like I said before, I'm 97% on accuracy. I'm also not perfect. Right? I embrace the fact that I'm not going to do everything perfectly. I'm not afraid of it. And then I say, again, you've got a team. And guess what? I'm your point of contact through the entire thing. I've got the team to support you. Should you feel like or need to reach out to one of the other team members, feel free. But I'm your point of contact. We're all here to serve and help you, right? We prospect on your behalf and we explain what that means. We communicate. As you see, I love to talk. What's the best way to communicate with you? And we're available. My schedule right here and the technology that we use. And I say, hey, did I get everything done? Have I met all of your expectations? Have I exceeded all your expectations on marketing? Do you feel confident that I can sell your house? And they'll say, yes. And I say, fantastic. Let's go ahead and sign the contract. And if they say, oh, but wait, because I always say it, I bet you're wondering how much all this costs. And they go, yeah, actually, I was thinking about that. Yeah, that's your next question, right? Let's figure out what your house is worth, and then we can go over how much it costs. Great, Lori, thank you. And then we get into market. Like, I'll skip through this part because they're already ready to sign the contract. They just want to know, right? They want to know, okay, what is my house worth? Great. If they're not ready, then guess what? I go through all of this and I talk to them about what realtor elimination is and what buyer's elimination is. So important that they understand that, because in a market that doesn't sell like right now, and you're like, why is my house not selling? You need to understand what realtor and buyer elimination is, and you need to share that with your clients so they understand that. It's not going to happen right now. We're in a fantastic market, right? How your property can be a 10. Again, if they're not ready to sign the contract, I go into all of this good stuff. And I go right back into client testimonials, and we share real pictures of our clients who are buying and selling real estate. I say, look at this family right here. They've worked with us 3 times, right? I go over it again. This family right here, right? We put their reviews in there. We share this stuff. They go, great. Thank you, Lori. We love you. We want to work with you. As you see, I don't believe I get very many objections because I don't create them for myself. I believe everyone says yes, they want to work with me, right? So I go into their to-do checklist. We've created a checklist to help you better serve, right? And then we go in what we need. We need the extra key when we come to put in the lockbox. We'll do your seller disclosures together. I need you to write that description of your house. Any surveys and improvements, leave them at the house, right? Closing documents, leave them at the house. By the way, we've got great tips on our podcast. Download it and listen to it here, right? Oh, wait, you're not sure if you want to hire me? Okay. Well, then questions to ask the other realtors, right? Are you hiring? You're going to be interviewing anyone else? I know this in advance when I go into a listing, right? I know whether or not they are or aren't. So I know this is the time to say, how'd that appointment go? What did they think of your house? How did they price it? What was your experience like? I ask all the questions. I don't care who it is they're interviewing. I just want to know their experience. That's it, right? All right, wait a minute. Well, we got a question in here. I'm loving this. Can you email me? Yeah, we would love to do that. You guys can get that email. Just email help@lorialvarez.net, and my social media team will send it right on over to you, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all questions. These are all questions, right? That we hit. We go through this. Again, AIM, the one we just did, right? They interviewed another agent prior. And guess what? The agent wanted to price the house higher, and they still hired me. What does that say, right? It says everything, okay? We tell them, put together that property feature worksheet so that we can market your property to the best of our ability. Where do you like to eat? Where do you like to play? Because we're going to hyperlink. We're going to do all that good stuff. We're going to put it in our video, right? We ask them for all that stuff, right? This is for them to put all that information in there. They're a part of the transaction. They're a part of the story. They are the story, right? And then guess what? If they're still not signing the contract, whew, there's a lot of work. But if they're still not signing the contract, I go into myths, right? That's the truth. Here's the truth. Real estate myths. We go into supply and demand. But by now they're signing the contract, or we're going straight to pricing. Again, I'm literally just following my book. I do it exactly the same every single time. It is my script. It is my script. I don't move from it unless they say, I'm ready to sign the contract. Fantastic, right? We go over what a cash offer is. We go over right here. Oh, whew, thank goodness. We're there. We're ready to sign the contract, right? It's marketing. This is all marketing, guys, right here. We make sure our podcast is in here. Please download my podcast and listen to it. Real Estate was Sold, the podcast. Feel free to share the information. Feel free to learn from me on it. That's what I share. It's free. It's free, free, free. I love sharing and helping people. Tell everyone that we're on all the social media, right? And then guess what? Hey, are you ready? Let's go ahead and get into pricing. And then we go into pricing. After we go into pricing, then I say, great. Are we in agreement on the price? Yes. Excellent. Go ahead and sign the contract. Oh, wait, you want to know how much this costs? I give them a quick breakdown of what it costs. And in all honesty, I just say, you're going to net X amount of money. Does that work for you? And they go, that's fantastic, Lori. Great. Sign the contract. And that's what I do. Now you have 20 minutes. I want to honor your time. Questions, answers, because I move quick. Go ahead. Thank you, Amanda. My social media agent, my social media team is on here. She shared that. Hey, Amanda, can you upload, as a matter of fact, can you go ahead and upload one of our old pre-listing flip books into this as a PDF for them? Amanda is actually the one who's put this beautiful package together. I take no credit for it. I just follow the book. That's all I do. So Amanda, if you don't mind doing that since you're in here, I appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, let's see. Okay, what do we got? I see, as a new agent, how can we stand out? What are your thoughts? Yesenia, that's a fantastic question. You know what? As a new agent, you got hustle, you got focus, you got everything you need, and you got the largest real estate company that you're working for. So, hey, you got your team on your side. You need to really share that, right? Just like it was right there in my book. 103, and Sophia will probably tell me those numbers are wrong. We're probably larger than what that is currently, right? But we have 103 agents working with us to get property sold, right? Sophia, do we have more than that now?
Yeah, we have 185,000 agents.
Amanda, did you hear that? We better update it.
No,
185,000, yeah.
185.
185.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right? I mean, that's truly, as a new agent, that's what you're going to share, right? You're going to share the power of Keller Williams, the power of your office, because your office is your team. Your termite provider is your team. Your escrow officer is your team. Just because I have a bunch of people on my personal team doesn't mean anything. It just means they all are like, I got to pay them money. That's all it means. Go ahead. What other thoughts? Questions, thoughts? Go ahead. Thank you, Sherry, for listening to the podcast. I appreciate that.
How much is the Homes and Land magazine?
How much is Homes and Land? So our budget for Homes and Land, we pay, I want to say it's $3.95 a month for that. And that is in the budget for us. We are very budgeted. I actually, when COVID first broke, I eliminated it. I dropped it because I am in a month-to-month contract, not a long-term contract. We brought it back about 120 days ago. Great question. Thank you, Amy. Anyone else?
Yes, I have a question, Lori.
Yes.
You are, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to pour into your KW family. So agents on here, please, any referrals in that area, she's your girl. She knows that market. Please send them out to her. And she's over there in the Glendora area, right?
Yes.
And so she's great. Lori, I just learned so much from you today. You have such a systematic, and explain to us, what is your conversion rate on listings?
It's a 95% conversion ratio.
She's the biggest, fiercest. You're the best person I've ever met with objection handling. When you were a new agent, how did you master your listing presentation? Like, what are some of the tips for some of the agents on here that are newer? Where do they start? Because they're not confident, right? So how did you gain that confidence?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, first and foremost, like Sophia knows a lot of my history just because she watches me, right? And she's been part of my business. And I love following her because she's a powerful woman as well, right? So here's the deal. I've done bold 9 times. Okay. Why do I do it over and over again? Because Gary Keller told me to. That's the only reason why. And guess what? Did I want to show up every single one of those times? No, I didn't. But guess what? Gary Keller makes more money than me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what the man says until I'm making more money than him. And I'm still not making more money than him. Right? So the presentation that you see in front of you actually came from Bold. It's been changed now and converted to exactly what I am and who I am. So now I'm going to step into its scripts, guys. I've scripted. I scripted from day one. I got a MAPS coach who told me, Lori, once a week, you need to practice your listing presentation. So I found an awesome MAPS coach agent in San Diego, and her and I picked up the phone every morning once a week at 7 a.m. I did my listing presentation. She did the objections, and then she did her listing presentation, and I did the objections, and we always got the listing. And when you train yourself to always get the listing, you'll just show up and always get the listing. That's just the reality of it. In all honesty, if I don't take the listing, it is because 1, I chose not to, or 2, I didn't do a better job of pre-qualifying them in the beginning. And I truly have a conversation with them in the beginning. And I ask them right from the beginning, what do you think your house is worth? They'll tell me. And if they say, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, cool. I just thought maybe you looked at Zillow or something, and maybe you thought your estimate might be what the value of your house is. Oh yeah, Lori, I have looked at Zillow. Okay, cool. So what do you think of that number, right? I have that real conversation. I literally have it on the top of my little listing sheet here when I walk in, Zillow's estimate, because that is the #1 number you generally have to overcome. So it's all about numbers, guys. That's what it is. And it's practicing and knowing your script. I have done it over and over again. My team wanted to change my listing presentation a year ago, and I was like, whoa, hold on, don't touch it. I'm not ready. We changed it when COVID broke, and we had to add some things. So I needed to practice it again. Thank you, Sophia. It's a great question. Next question.
Well, yeah, Bold is coming to the region in May, so take advantage. Well,
Yeah.
I will be taking Bold. I will always take Bold whenever it comes around because it makes me a better person and it grows my business each time. So I know Lori will be in there with her team every time there's a Bold. So those of you on the call, you don't know what Bold is, go to Caitlin. She knows all the details of when it's starting, how it's all working, okay?
Yeah. Bold is phenomenal. You need to have confidence in who you are to serve your client. They don't know anything about real estate. That's why they're coming to you. They just know they want to move. You must be confident in yourself that you have the ability to do your best in every circumstance. You may not have all the information, but you will have the ability to do your best in the circumstance and go back, new agents, seasoned agents. I don't ever believe I know everything. I have lots of agents that I call that have 20 to 30 years experience. And I'm like, shoot, what do you think? Right? And I call them. You guys want to make sure, take your team, take the support that you have behind you. Hey, Brian, it's great to see you on the call. So excited to have you on. He and I did a transaction together. Questions? We have 10 minutes. Q&A.
Hello, Lori.
Hi, Brian. Brian, since
Yeah.
you were on the other end of one of my transactions of my listings, can
Yep.
you share how that experience was?
It was great. I mean, on your end, I mean, not everybody knows, but it was my neighbor, so he kind of stole that listing from me, which congratulations. So everybody listen to her because it works. Even if you're talking to an agent and they're talking to a seller in the driveway a couple of days before, don't let Lori show up that weekend. So, but no, it was a great transaction. Everything was professional and friendly, and I know that the seller had a lot of stresses and stuff, and you just made it really good for her.
How was the experience, Brian, for you personally? Did my team perform at a level that made it easy for you to do your part in the job?
Yes, absolutely. It's probably one of the first demand to performs I've gotten in a very timely fashion. So I do remember that.
Yep.
Like
Notice
they're
form. Yep.
They're not canceling on us. They're just, keeping it straight.
That's right. We're just moving through the transaction. I'm a big, big believer in honoring the timelines, right? We need to honor the timelines of the contract. That's why we have a contract. And you don't really hear much from me during the transaction, Brian, right?
Just when we needed to, a couple of times.
It was Kathy the entire time, in all honesty. It was my
Yeah.
You and I did the negotiating around the request for repairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
access to the property, because I confirmed
Yes.
those appointments. But my TC did all the rest.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian, for sharing.
You're
that
welcome.
experience.
No, it was great. I'll do it again for sure.
I can't wait to work with you again. You were fantastic.
Amen. Thank you, Lori.
Yesenia, great question. Can you give some insight about the pre-qualification call meeting before a listing appointment? Where is the right time to meet with them? When is the right time to meet with them? That's a great question, Yesenia. Thank you for asking. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. I have a client. I have one right now that I'm working on, right? And so the only thing I do is go on listing appointments. I don't show my buyers. I don't do any of that other stuff. Once in a while, I'll go out on a buyer or something else because my buyer's agents are overloaded, but generally I don't. I'm always doing listings. So when is the right time? Anytime they say they want me to come over, but I go with the expectation of what am I really doing? And that's by having the conversation up front. So I have one person that I've been talking to for 12 years. I know he's not ready yet. I know he's going to come on the market next week though, because I know from the last conversation I just had, he's ready. The house is 99% cleared out. So my answer to that is have a great telephone conversation, asking all the right questions. Literally, I use the Keller Williams scripts in the back end of KW. Go in there, find the pre-qual listing script, pull it out, and ask those questions. So easy. When are you ready to sell your house? They'll tell you. Okay, great. You're ready in 30 days. You're ready in 60 days. You're ready in 90 days, right? When Brian's neighbor, when I got connected to Brian's neighbor, it was just an agent who referred it into me. Another Keller Williams agent referred it into me. She called me and she was like, I need you to come sell my house right now. I was like, I'll be right there, right? And she was like, I want to move and I got to write an offer and I can't move until this. And there were reasons for why she hired us. Right? So to answer your question, you need to pick up the phone. Don't be afraid. I remember when I first got in the business, I'd call someone, they wouldn't answer. I'd call them, they wouldn't answer. I'd call them, they wouldn't answer. And I'd be thinking in my head, oh, they don't like me. Oh, they don't want to work with me. Oh, they're going to choose to work with someone else. And then that person answered like 10 calls later, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you for staying in touch. I was in a car accident and my daughter was in a car accident and da 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 da. And guess what? She hired me. She's hired me 3 times. Stay in touch. Stay in touch. It will make the difference, guys. It will. So I would just say, if you're still doing 100% of your business, maybe you don't want to go see them every single time they call, right? Because your calendar doesn't allow for it. But I'll tell you, every time you do spend time with them on the phone or in person, you are solidifying that relationship because they know you have made them the #1 priority, and that's what they want to know. So I hope that answered your question. Thank you, Amanda. Right there for everyone is our flip book of the listing presentation that we currently use, right? It's exactly what we do. It's who we are. It's how we do our business. I literally walk it from page to page to page, constantly saying, are you ready to sign the contract? Constantly through the entire time. Is there anything I missed? Do you have a question? Always. We have 5 minutes. Any more questions? Love to answer them right now. I'm also teaching Ignite. I have the next Ignite session coming up. Hey guys, I don't care how new you are or how seasoned you are. Ignite is fantastic. The fundamentals is where we need to be in this market, especially. And every opportunity you get to stay in the fundamentals of real estate is fantastic. I have an Ignite session coming up, I think in 2 weeks. And I just did the Ignite session for the buyers, how to win a buyer and how to win a buyer's agent offer. And I'll tell you, my buyer's agent's rock and roll. We're closing buyers while everyone else is writing offers. We're closing them. So I'm proud of them. If you check out our website, my sister Aim and Hasina have created a beautiful buyer's academy on our website, which is lorialvarez.net. You go to that, you check it out, copy us. We love it. Go ahead. We don't care. We're here to share. That's what makes us all successful. But they have a beautiful, we pulled a buyer right off of that. They watched the Buyer's Academy and then they called Amy and said, okay, I want to buy a house. And they bought a house. We just closed on them. And we got another one who just signed up and more. And we just keep sharing that forward. So now they've challenged me. Now I got to create a Seller's Academy. Couple more minutes. Oh, and I was to add to that with the Ignite. I have a couple of agents from Ignite that have texted me because I will script with you. You're just going to make me a better agent. I'm going to be responding to those agents and getting them calendared so that they can script with me. And I'm a big like, hey, scripting is 30 minutes. You get 15, I get 15, boom. If we're doing a listing presentation, you get 30, I get 30, boom, we're done. I'm all about scripting and learning. And I'm going to remind you in your scripting rules and regs. I don't love rules and regs. I'm the first one to break them. In your scripting rules and regs, you always give 5 objections and then give them what they came for, which is your signature. Give it to them. 5 objections, then give it to them. Always, always. That will make you the better agent because you will learn not to give up after the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th objection. Let me tell you, I have agents who have offices who call me all the time and say, hey, will you come to our office? I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. Why would I come to your office? Nope, I'm not interested. Okay, thank you. And they hang up. You can only take one, forget it. I'm not going there. I need someone that's stronger than that. 5 objections, give them the appointment.